Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and happy 2020. This is the very first video that I'm filming in 2020. So because this is the start of a brand new year and I just did my 2019 yearly favorites, I wanted to go down memory lane a little bit, get a little nostalgic with you guys and go through my very first yearly favorites video that I ever posted in 2013. Watching my old videos is one of my least favorite things to do. It is so cringy and uncomfortable. I don't think you guys could understand, like, watching yourself back on video in general is like kind of a weird experience, but there's just something about going back 7 years and watching yourself that is just horrifying. So this video, titled Best of Beauty 2013 with a little heart icon, is actually private. So today you're gonna be getting an exclusive look on a video that only 1,996 people saw back in 2013. So not only are we going to be cringing in unison, but I am also going to be going through all the products that I mentioned in this video, and I'll be letting you guys know my thoughts on the products now, 7 years later, and I'll let you know if I still love them or if I hate them, if I still use them. You know, I'll give you the whole rundown. So I hope that you guys are gonna enjoy today's video. Let me know down below in the comments if you want to see more videos like these where I kind of revisit my old favorites from my past YouTube videos. Of course, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to join the fam. Okay, that's it. Let's get into it. I want to watch this video. Jamie, I'm so excited for this video. You have no idea. I am 18 years old in this video. I'm still a teenager. Currently, I am 25 and a half. So these are all the products that I loved when I was a fresh-faced, innocent 18-year-old. I would also just like to take a moment to recognize the not one but two classic Bath & Body Works Beauty Guru candles sitting there in the background. Yes, thank you so much. So let's get into the video. I've got a lot of products to show you guys. My favorite primer of 2013 for the face is the Benefit Professionals Primer. I am obsessed with this. I cannot put on any type of foundation without putting this on first. So the Benefit Professional, well, as I say in this video, Benefit Professionals. So the Benefit Professional is actually one of my least favorite primers. It's really just not a primer that works for my skin. I'm kind of surprised that I mentioned it as my 2013 favorite because I must have liked it a lot since I mentioned it in a yearly favorite. I don't know if it's because my skin is a lot drier now at 25 than when I was 18, but when I apply honestly really any type of pore filling primer like the Benefit Professional, it kind of just never works for my skin. They'll often kind of just pill and flake and they will not do anything good for my skin. I'm still not really huge on primers. I do use them once in a while if I feel like I really need to prolong the wear of my makeup, but most of the time I just use a moisturizer because it's kind of all that I need, and I use an oil as well. And I find that a combination of those two products really does make my foundation look and last a lot better than really any primer that I could put on my face. As for the eyes, it's a little bit hard for me to choose because I sort of go back between two primers. I go back between the Urban Decay Primer Potion and this one over here, which is MAC Soft Ochre. Because not only does it prime my eyes and it makes my eyeshadow last a really long time, but it also sort of cancels out all the redness on my eyes. So this has been absolutely great and I've been loving it throughout all of 2013. MAC Soft Ochre. Classic. Now I would say over the last like 2 or 3 years, I actually stopped using the MAC paint pots as an eyeshadow base because I actually found them to be a little bit too dry for my eyelids. I found that especially once the paint pot started to dry out a little bit, the texture of the cream got a little bit too dry for my liking. So when I would apply it to my eyelids, especially if my eyelids were leaning a little bit too dry, it would just flake and it would like skip on my eyelid and it just wouldn't apply smoothly. And so when I would apply eyeshadow on top, it would kind of just be a big, huge mess. And nowadays, honestly, I rarely even use a dedicated eye primer. 90% of the time, I'll just use concealer, and I find concealer works just as good as any other eye primer. So I don't really have a use for it anymore. It's just one of those makeup products that I just don't feel like I absolutely need to have in my collection at all times. Like, I'll take it or leave it. I don't need it. Moving on to foundation, it always comes back to this little baby over here, and that is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. But this foundation is my holy grail foundation. I will be buying this over and over and over and over and over again. It just makes my skin look absolutely flawless. It is not heavy whatsoever. It doesn't have a weird scent. It's just the perfect foundation for my skin. I have said this so many times every time I mention the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, but I'm gonna mention it again. I've been using this product consistently for the last 7 years. It's a product that's kind of always been in my makeup routine. Right now, actually, it's probably one of my favorite, most go-to tinted moisturizers at the moment. I did kind of take a little bit of a break from the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer for a while, but then after they reformulated it, it kind of prompted me to try the product again, and I fell in love with the product once again. It's lightweight, it has good coverage, it's natural looking, it's kind of just like the perfect everyday foundation, and it has been for the last 7 years. So that is definitely something that I still love, and like I said, I even mentioned it in my 2019 favorites. It's kind of funny though, because the product that I'm holding up and that I'm using in this video at that time was the oil-free version, which was meant for people with oily skin. I never had oily skin. It was just that I didn't even know what oil-free meant. I just thought that it just made the foundation better because it was oil-free. So it just kind of shows how much my makeup knowledge has changed quite a bit from 2013 to now. I mean, besides all the experience that I've had just working on myself over the last 7 years and just trying so many different products, I also went to makeup school, so I learned so much about all these different products and how to apply them on myself as well as others. All the products that I was using were pretty much just recommendations that I saw on YouTube at the time. They weren't really products that I was like, oh, this is gonna really work for me. It was more so, oh, that works really good for that person, so I'm going to use it. And even the Benefit Professional is a great example of that. That's not a product that really suits my skin type or even my skin concerns, but it was a really, really popular product at the time that I made this video. Next, moving on to concealers. This was super easy to choose. I use these concealers pretty much every single day. I have 2 of them for you. One is from the drugstore and one is, I guess you can consider it high-end. The first one that I discovered in 2013 and I've not stopped using since is the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. This is probably the best drugstore concealer I have come across. It just blends so nicely into the skin, doesn't get cakey, it stays the whole day, it doesn't crease. My other favorite concealer that is more of a newer concealer that I got more towards the end of 2013 is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I got this off of the recommendation of a billion beauty gurus here on YouTube. Everybody seemed to start talking about this like all at the same time, so I got a little curious. I decided to get it myself and I have been loving this. This is the concealer that I like to use like on an everyday basis just to cover up the redness on around my skin. The Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer was such a good concealer from the drugstore. I don't even know if they still make that. I'm kind of curious because if they do, I want to pick another one up because I haven't used it in years. But it was a favorite of mine for a lot of the same reasons that the concealers that I currently like are favorites of mine now. It was a really lightweight and very hydrating formula, and that's what I really liked about it. MAC Pro Longwear Concealer was another very popular product on YouTube at the time. I remember when I was even doing freelance makeup, which was even a couple years after this video, I used this concealer in my kit. Now I haven't used the MAC Pro Longwear in a really long time, so I don't even know if I still like it. I remember I stopped using it because again, I felt like it was a little bit too dry for me. I feel like at the time there just wasn't a ton of options, and now I feel like there's so many different concealers with so many different consistencies and finishes, and I've really found like a couple amazing concealers that really are just perfect for me, and the MAC Pro Longwear just doesn't really even compare so much. So yeah, don't use it anymore. I don't think I'm gonna be going back to it, but it was a good one. It really was. My favorite bronzer of 2013, 100% has got to be my NARS Laguna bronzer. This is like probably one of the only things I've ever hit pan on, and I'm so proud of it. I use this almost every single day. It's not too orange, it's not too muddy, it's just perfect. It gives my skin a really nice natural looking glow. Choosing my favorite blush of 2013 was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. This is like the blush like I just always go back to, and that blush is NARS Orgasm. This is like the most gorgeous rosy golden blush. It literally just makes your skin glow. Now my number one favorite highlighter of 2013 has to be MAC Soft and Gentle. This highlighter literally makes you look like a glowing goddess. Okay, NARS Laguna, NARS Orgasm, and MAC Soft and Gentle I feel like are the holy trinity of YouTube loved products, especially at that time. With NARS Laguna especially, every time I take it out of my collection and I use it, I kind of ask myself why I stopped using it in the first place, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful bronzer, and I understand why it was such a holy grail for so many people and why I personally used it for years and years and years. It's just such a great color. It has such a pretty sheen, but is it a top shelf product for me still? No, there are definitely other bronzers right now that I love, that I use a ton, and that I would reach for over NARS Laguna. Now, even before 2013, I put NARS Orgasm on my cheeks because my mom would wear NARS Orgasm and it was in her vanity. So whenever I would do my makeup, I wouldn't really have my own makeup. I would always go to my mom's vanity to do it, and I would use NARS Orgasm all the time. In the original Orgasm formula, the glitter was like really chunky. Like you would see flecks of gold on your cheeks when you would wear it. They did improve it. The gold is a lot finer now. It's way prettier. So because of that, I do still like the blush, but it's not a go-to of mine really anymore. MAC Soft and Gentle. Okay. Can I just say, when I bought this product, I did not buy it thinking it was a highlighter, because at the time, highlighting was not really a popular thing at all. Like nobody was really talking about what highlighters were or anything like that. Like I never put a highlighter on the tops of my cheekbones. So when I bought this product, I bought it thinking it was a giant sparkly eyeshadow. So I think it was only around this time was I like, oh, you're supposed to put this on your cheekbones to give your skin a little bit of a glow. MAC Soft and Gentle, it will hold a special place in my heart forever. Do I have it in my collection anymore? No. Will I ever rebuy it? Probably not. Honestly, I feel like if I were to try it now, I would be pleasantly surprised with the way that it looks. But even so, there's just so many highlighters out there right now. I just don't really feel the need to kind of go back into my past. Now in 2020, I definitely reach more towards cream and liquid highlighters than powder highlighters in general. Now this is more of a newer favorite for me, but honestly, I like it so much that I would consider it one of my favorites of 2013. And that is this little Stila Kitten highlighter duo. I like to use the lighter side right over here. It just gives your skin the most beautiful glow, and it's a little bit more natural looking than Soft and Gentle too. First of all, I called Stila, so there's that. Stila Kitten highlighter. Oh, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous highlighter, and I kind of want to repurchase it. I remember buying it specifically because of ShanXO, and I also remember taking a picture of the highlighter and posting it to my Instagram, and then ShanXO liked the picture, and then I freaked out. This is a very vivid memory. I even remember exactly where I was when that happened. Clearly, it really impacted me very positively. As for a brow product, my absolute favorite for 2013 is obviously the Anastasia Brow Wiz. The applicator is just so precise, and you could really make your brows look really nice and natural or really dramatic. Okay, what is with me saying all of these brand names the most wrong? I called Anastasia. And so this is why this video is private, because it's just so uncomfortable. The Anastasia Brow Wiz, a classic, a staple. It was a go-to of mine for such a long time. It was kind of one of the very first, very finely tipped eyebrow pencils I'd ever used, and I really loved it for that. The Benefit Precisely My Brow has completely replaced the Anastasia Brow Wiz for me. I have not repurchased the Brow Wiz in years. Both products are very similar to one another. They're kind of the exact same concept. I do like the formula on the Benefit one just a little bit more, and I actually really like the handle on the Benefit brow pencil more than the Anastasia one, but I actually find it to be a little bit more comfortable holding the Benefit brow pencil, which may sound a little bit silly, but it's true. And I also found that the Anastasia Brow Wiz would break all the time. Like it would either fall out or it would crack, and I never really have that issue with the Precisely My Brows. Okay, moving on to eyeshadow palettes. This will not be any surprise to any of you, but the Naked 2 palette has got to be one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of 2013. I reach for this non-stop, especially for daytime looks. And I have one more palette I want to show you guys. It is the Lorac Pro palette. I feel like this is sort of cheating because I got this really recently, but I honestly have been absolutely obsessed with it since I got it. Okay, so I used the Naked 2 palette and the Lorac Pro palette to death. Those two were absolutely some of my most used palettes, and only very recently did I just get rid of that exact Lorac Pro palette, which is kind of gross now that I'm thinking about it. Oh my god, why did I keep that for so long? I'm so sorry. Again, I don't use either of these palettes really anymore. The Naked 2 palette especially, I have not had that in my collection for years. It actually broke on me One day, all of the eyeshadows fell out of that. I don't know how or why, but it happened. I feel like I've always been a little bit more drawn towards cooler toned neutrals rather than warm tone neutrals. I feel like to the eye, warm tones are just really pretty to look at, but actually like on my face, cool toned eyeshadows are just a little bit more flattering. I feel like it really makes my eyes pop, and I think that's why I really liked the Naked 2. I just felt like all of the shades just really worked for me. The Lorac Pro palette, like I said, I just recently got rid of it, but that was probably one of my most used, most loved palettes ever. I hit pan on so many of the shades in that palette. Since 2013, there has been so many neutral palettes that have been released with, I would say, probably much better formulas that I never really felt the need to kind of go back to those original neutral palettes, because the Lorac Pro and the Naked palettes from Urban Decay were absolutely like some of those original neutral palettes that first released once palettes actually started to become really popular. I would say like 2012, 2013 is when palettes really started to become very popular, so there wasn't really a ton out there at the time, but now, I mean, palettes galore. That's all companies release. Hashtag Denona Biba palette is one that really comes to mind that I adore. My favorite eyeliner is very easy to pick. It is the L'Oreal Infallible. They're super slim liquid eyeliner. This is probably the best liquid eyeliner I've ever used, and it's from the drugstore, which is great. So black and it's so precise, and I love the applicator. The L'Oreal Infallible liquid eyeliner was absolutely one of the only liquid eyeliners that I would use, that and the Stila liquid eyeliner at that time. Wow, my track record is kind of sucky because, again, this is not a product that I have continued to use throughout the last 7 years. I mean, I definitely used it for like a good chunk of time, but as far as liquid eyeliners go, I'm honestly like not super picky. I feel like most liquid eyeliners are kind of same but different, whether it's from the drugstore or it's high-end. Right now I'm actually really loving the M Cosmetics liquid eyeliner. It's just been my favorite. I feel like I'm really able to get a very sharp wing with it. Now, my number one mascara that I use literally every single day is my Kevyn Aucoin The Volume Mascara. This is my favorite mascara for the sole reason that it takes me absolutely no time to take it off. All you gotta do is just massage your eyes with some warm water, and then you literally just pull off the mascara off your eyelashes, and I really like the way it looks in my lashes too, so definitely my number one favorite of 2013. When I want really huge lashes and I don't really care how long it takes me to take off my mascara, I love these two mascaras, and that is the L'Oreal Shocking Extensions and the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. Another name that I said wrong. I'm so embarrassed. It's Kevyn Aucoin. I said Kevyn Aucoin, which I said for a really long time because my mom is really bad at pronouncing things. That's how my mom said Kevyn Aucoin. And so I just kind of repeated what she said, and she was very wrong, so I blame her. So very bougie for my 18-year-old self to have this Kevyn Aucoin Volume Mascara. The only reason why I had this mascara though was because of my mom. It was the only mascara that my mom would wear at the time because it was so easy to take off. It was one of those tubing mascaras that you would just be able to take off with water. You wouldn't even need to use makeup remover. So my mom literally would buy them in bulk and then would just give me one when she would buy a ton for herself. And so I got so used to that tubing mascara that when I would go towards like normal mascaras, the removal process was just such a pain in the ass for me. Even though it really wasn't so great as far as the way that it made my lashes look, it was just really easy to take off. So no, this is not a mascara that I use at all anymore. I'm fine to deal with the removal process of just normal mascaras because I care way more about the way that they make my lashes look. The L'Oreal Shocking Extensions, I remember that being a very lengthening mascara. Haven't used that one in years. Again, I feel like right now I'm only really cycling between two different kinds of mascaras. Hourglass Caution when I want something really waterproof, and the Ilia Limitless Lights Camera Lashes. That one was such a go-to of mine for the longest time. I actually still really like the way that mascara makes my lashes look. However, I don't know what happened, but sometimes mascaras will just like turn on me and they will start to flake and smudge on me when they didn't prior. It's the weirdest thing. Choosing my favorite lipstick of 2013 was definitely not as easy as I thought it would be. Honestly, I love lipstick and I love collecting lipsticks. So I would say my number one favorite would be MAC Rebel. This is probably one of my all-time favorite MAC lipsticks. It is just the most gorgeous, like purpley plum vampy color. Another one of my go-to lipsticks has been Angel from MAC. This is probably one of my most used MAC lipsticks, or really any lipstick in general. It is just a baby pink color and I just love it. I think it's perfect for every day and it's just a really easy lip color to wear. Now, if I had to use two makeup products to describe myself during that time in my life, MAC Rebel and MAC Angel would be the two first products that would come to mind because they were basically some of the only lip products that I would wear. I was obsessed with MAC Rebel. Like, I would wear it all the time. Now, if I would want to put on a color like this, I would wear something that's a little bit more long wearing than MAC Rebel, because MAC Rebel, although it's really a pretty color, it's a very creamy formula and it doesn't last so well. So if I were to want to wear something like that, I would probably go more towards a matte lipstick, or even just something just simply more long wearing, because MAC Rebel, I remember, slid around quite a lot on the mouth. MAC Angel was my go-to nude. I actually tried to wear it again not too long ago and I could not wear it because it looked so weird on my skin tone. I mean, you could even see in this video, clearly I really enjoyed a good pink lip color, but I don't know, I just don't feel like it suits me so much, and I don't really go towards like a super bubblegum pinky nude anymore. It's just not my thing. From the drugstore, I also have been loving my Revlon lip butter in Caustic Candy. It's actually pretty similar to Angel, which is probably why I like it so much. However, I think it's a little bit easier to wear because it is more of like a balmy formula. This was another very popular lip product on YouTube at the time. Like, everybody was talking about it. I remember just being obsessed with the Revlon lip butters. Like, I had almost every single shade because I love the formula so much, which is kind of funny because it's really very similar to a lot of the lip products that I love right now. The Revlon lip butters were kind of like a sheer tinted lip balm type of situation, which is definitely very much at my alley right now. It's kind of what I mostly go towards, especially for day to day. But yeah, I haven't tried the Revlon lip butters in forever. I mean, they're long gone in my collection. It would be disgusting if I still had those in my collection. But if they still have them at the drugstore, I would be very interested to try them again for sure. And so guys, that is it. Those were all of my favorite products from 2013. I hope that you guys found this video to be fun and entertaining. If you guys are able to remember what some of your favorite makeup products were in 2013, you gotta tell me. Let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, that is it. Give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe once again if you wanna join the fam. And I will see you guys in the next one.